Why should Epic Games make a Star Wars game, you ask? Perhaps a Star Wars Battlefront 3? Well, first of all, Epic Games develops Fortnite, and many hardcore Star Wars fans are currently on the fence about downloading Fortnite to play the new Star Wars DLC because they want a true Star Wars experience. They don't want to see Darth Maul holding a shotgun or Anakin sniping with a sniper rifle. Sure, this is tons of fun as a Fortnite experience, and I do love my Fortnite, but let's admit it. We Star Wars fans want a true Star Wars experience, and I, for one, want to see this from Epic Games. We want to see a proper Star Wars game where battles take place within the Star Wars universe on planets like Coruscant, Naboo, Mustafar, Tatooine, and all of the iconic Star Wars locations. We want to see our heroes wielding the proper lightsabers, clone troopers facing off against droids, proper Star Wars vehicles, and everything else that comes along with a standalone Star Wars game. And I think Epic Games is the perfect developer to pull it off. After all, they've done an amazing job with their Star Wars DLC. And in this video, I'm going to explain how Epic Games could pull it off while making everyone happy, including their existing Fortnite fans who have already purchased tons of Star Wars cosmetics and content. So first of all, there is so much DLC opportunity here when it comes to Epic Games making a new Star Wars game. They're already doing it for Fortnite, so why not do it for a standalone Star Wars game, right? They could release upcoming new planets, characters, and vehicles from upcoming series like Ahsoka and The Acolyte, just to name a few. So many possibilities here, and what's really cool about this idea is that all of the characters and cosmetics would be shared between Fortnite and the new Star Wars game because both would use the exact same graphical assets. After all, in my humble opinion, Fortnite's graphics look awesome. I love the art style, I love the way the characters look. Just look at this clone trooper, for instance, or the Mandalorian. Also, Anakin and Obi-Wan look amazing too. And from what I understand, this art style also allows the dev team at Epic Games to produce content 10 times faster, which is a win-win situation for us Star Wars fans because we as Star Wars fans know that lack of content has been one of the biggest issues with Star Wars games. So if a player were to unlock a new hero or cosmetic in Fortnite, they would then be able to access this exact same hero or cosmetic in the new Star Wars game, and vice versa. Obviously, this would keep existing players happy since they could use their already purchased Star Wars cosmetics and heroes from Fortnite and just carry them over into the new Star Wars experience while building upon their collection as new Star Wars content releases. And this system would be similar to how Call of Duty allows players to share skins between both the regular multiplayer mode and the Warzone experience, something that I've always found to be really cool. Now, one of the biggest concerns from Star Wars fans would be the cost of upcoming Star Wars cosmetics, especially if it was in a standalone Star Wars game. How much would Epic Games charge for DLC in a new Star Wars game? Would they try to milk us for all of our money? Well, they would definitely need to make prices more reasonable in my opinion because Fortnite's cosmetics seem a bit overpriced, but I'll talk about this a little bit more later in the video. Also, the new Star Wars game should always be an option for Fortnite players to play, and also vice versa, Fortnite should always be an option for Star Wars players to play. Let me explain. So when people boot up Fortnite or the Star Wars experience, the opening screen would show the Fortnite menu option as well as the new Star Wars experience. This would be similar to how Call of Duty also does it with their opening screen, where players can choose between different Call of Duty experiences. And of course, players of the standalone Star Wars experience wouldn't have to be forced to download Fortnite, of course. It would just be an optional thing that would be in the menu. So the Star Wars game would truly still be a standalone Star Wars experience. And one of the biggest questions would be this: would this new Star Wars experience encompass all of the different eras, like Clone Wars, Galactic Civil War, and the new sequel trilogy? What about the High Republic era, you ask? Well, this is definitely a very, very tough question for Epic Games to answer, but they could at least get started with a Clone Wars game or experience at first, where all of the planets, heroes, and cosmetics are all dedicated to the Clone Wars era, meaning that existing Clone Wars cosmetics would carry over to the new game, and then upcoming new cosmetics would be dedicated to, you guessed it, the Clone Wars. Then they could take player feedback and continue to build from that. Besides, starting with the Clone Wars is a perfect foundation since many of the planets, like Coruscant for instance, span multiple eras and can be used for upcoming content. So if they decide to introduce the Galactic Era after the Clone Wars, they could then update Coruscant for that era with new areas and content. How cool would that be? And we have to talk about game modes, of course. I really think Epic Games should focus on game modes that allow players to respawn and leave the Battle Royale with Fortnite. Besides, this would keep the Battle Royale experience unique to Fortnite and give players a reason to still go back to Fortnite. And I cannot talk about modes without mentioning Conquest Mode, which of course was the staple mode from the Star Wars Battlefront series. And Conquest Mode from Star Wars Battlefront would be an awesome mode to see in a standalone title from Epic Games. In fact, Epic Games could just call their new game Star Wars Battlefront if they really wanted to, but my guess is that they would probably call it something different. We could also see a standard team deathmatch mode in there, a mode similar to Team Rumble where players drop down from above onto the map, but it has respawns. Extraction mode from the Battlefront games would also be cool to see, and even something similar to Walker Assault would be fun too. So many possibilities with this Star Wars experience. All they have to do is release it and get started. And finally, I have to revisit this topic that I talked about earlier. Epic Games will definitely need to lower the prices on some of their cosmetics to keep players happy. Sure, this new Star Wars game would most likely be a free-to-play game, but I still think many of the cosmetics could end up being way too expensive. I mean, Fortnite's cosmetics, in my opinion, are way overpriced, and they should really consider lowering the price for the Star Wars game if they decide to make one. After all, in my opinion, I think they'd make even more money doing this since many more people would be willing to buy Star Wars DLC when the prices are more reasonable compared to if the prices are sky high. So again, I think it's a moneymaker to actually lower the price of the cosmetics and DLC. So what do you all think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Epic Games should make their own standalone Star Wars game? And have you played the new Fortnite Star Wars DLC? If you haven't, I really think you should check it out. There's tons of cool stuff in there. I'm really loving the clone troopers. I'm loving the addition of Anakin Skywalker, Padme. They've also added the Mandalorian in there a while back. And I'm guessing we might get some Ahsoka DLC possibly in the near future as well when Ahsoka releases in August on Disney+. So a lot of stuff that should be coming up to look forward to. But again, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hit that like button if you did. Leave a comment down below. I'll see y'all next time, and may the Force be with you always.